with Miranda Kahn, J.D. Hayworth, and of course, Miranda, the story about NBC suspending Brian Williams without pay for the next 6 months. It shows just the impact that the embellishment of the helicopter story in Iraq, the after effects.
And the other big announcement, of course, is Jon Stewart. He announced last night that he's leaving The Daily Show on a very high note.
Which had some of us thinking, wait a minute,
maybe
would Stewart end up at NBC? You know, the conflation
They did think about him for Meet the Press,
That's right, for Meet the Press, yeah. Well, we are prepared to meet up via Skype with our good friend James Hirsen, the author of the Left Coast Report. He is Skyping in from La La Land, that would be L.A., close to Hollywood. And then the version of Hollywood for the cosmetically challenged, although that doesn't apply to our co-host, Ford O'Connell, very telegenic. He's at Newsmax, Washington. So, James, the bottom line on Brian Williams, you told me Friday he was going to weather this storm, show up on Letterman, make a joke, and move forward.
Well, now he has 6 months to do it. You know, it was one thing when they were dealing with the brand of Brian Williams alone and dealing with one embellished story. But what happened since the last time we talked is other stories have surfaced, in particular his coverage of Katrina in New Orleans and other embellishments, which was starting to further damage the brand of NBC News, which is what they referred to in their statement. So what this is Brian Williams is going to go on a long restoration tour. Probably, in a few weeks, he'll start popping up on shows and use his self-deprecating humor. They're going to put in a replacement, watch the ratings, and give Brian probably a chance to come back in 6 months and see if he can, restore his at least connection with America, or they'll reassign him to a new role within the news, perhaps as Al Sharpton's replacement on MSNBC.
Oh.
Well, James, why don't you think that NBC decided not to fire its golden boy? Obviously, they want to keep the ratings and try to rehabilitate the image. But isn't there something deeper here, that the fact that NBC News itself must have known about these lies, and therefore, if they threw down Williams, they would have also been implicating themselves, particularly producers and cameramen? Other people do go on these junkets with the reporters.
Yeah, Maureen Dowd reported that a year ago, the executives at NBC knew about this. It was widely known that he was embellishing. They have so much invested in Brian Williams, the celebrity. He's number one in the ratings, or used to be. And the fact is, the folks at NBC on background have said that they're rooting for him. They want to figure out a way to bring him back, but they had to act to stop the bleeding because it was affecting not only the news division, but the entire network. And so this is a way for them to show that they're tough, that they're holding him accountable, but there's no investigation, there's going to be no report. And clearly this is, by many people, including Tom Brokaw, insufficient. They want to see him canned, and they didn't do it.
Real quickly, we only have about 20 seconds left. What is next for Jon Stewart?
Well, people are speculating what's next for Jon Stewart, but it's very, very much ironic that on the same day, Jon Stewart, who changed the face of news and caused a whole generation of millennials to switch to, basically the comedy channel as opposed to broadcast news to get their information, that he would be in news stories with Brian Williams. I think what it shows is the dawn of infotainment. I think Jon Stewart's going to be doing motion pictures. He's going to be doing special projects and continue to be successful because, he's got this huge shelf full of Emmys and has, in fact, altered the culture, whether you love him or hate him.
In other words, we just got to stay tuned. James Hirsen from out there by Hollywood, we thank you for Skyping in. Ford O'Connell there at Newsmax Washington, thanks for co-hosting. It's always great to have Miranda Kahn here, and we hope we will have you here tomorrow. Now, coming up next, high noon in the East, midpoint with our friend Ed Berliner. We hope to see you back here tomorrow morning, 9 in the East, 6 in the West. For now, stay brave, stay free, and stay tuned.